Show. Howard 101.
You'd be amazed all the people that do listen to your show.
I can't stand it, I tell you.
I love it. You guys are the best.
With Shirley. We're hitting the capital.
All right, it's 8 days. Relax. Yeah, we're on a bus.
Madison.
You want to make a wife.
That's what they say in Hong Kong. And Jay Thomas.
Hello. It's only 4 o'clock in the morning where I am, and I'm like going, how'd this happen to me?
It's like you're running the bowling alley. You got to bring those shoes back. I got to spray them down.
You know what? When I'm coming to work, I see, Mexican guys opening the bakery, know.
They're thinking you're going to jump in front of Home Depot with them looking for work.
And they're like, taxi cab drivers dropping hookers off and stuff, and I'm going, what happened? How did this happen? And I'm running through the streets. Shirley is here, of course. It's the Jay Thomas Show at Howard 101. Madison will not be with us until she plops this kid out. She can't get up. She works in the afternoons with us and all that. But so just be you and I. By the way, Shirley, is your wife? Are you using those Snuggie, those slings for the baby?
No, you know what's funny? She had one, and she put the baby in it for like a second just to test it, and since then we can't find it around the house. It's just disappeared, which is I guess a good thing because apparently kids are dropping like flies in that thing.
They have been recalled. They have been recalled.
You know what? I mean, really, a parent can't.
They're done.
But a parent can't look down every now and then.
Once they recall something, you're in this crappy economy and your whole life is based, and, you go, well, how you doing, Mel? Well, I'm good. I got this, it's the baby sling business is going.
I'm going to be huge.
They sold like 2 or 3 million of them worldwide. We're fine. Everything. And what is it? It's a piece of cloth goes around the woman's neck. The baby fits in it. It's nothing. 4 kids died, and it smushes them up or something, or it
restricts their breathing. I think it gets.
When you hold yourself in a kind of a cramped position too long, and you go. You can't. Well,
like the first time you try to blow yourself.
That's right.
What?
There
you go.
on?
Oh no.
Well, the kids. It's a terrible tragedy.
Yes.
But no one is going to be putting their children, anybody that has, that hears this report, in one of those sling things.
Well, now they're recalling the backpack ones, not the ones with the kid on the back, but the ones where you wear the kid in the front.
The one where the kid hits their head on the back of your head? That was my favorite.
Now, they're recalling the one where the kid goes in the front because it looks gay, they're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I had my first son with the current wife I'm with now, see, I've had other wives and other children, so I have to always think, where does this fit in? I would take him for a walk, front, back, whatever, and he had a great time. The second kid came out, and he didn't like me from like the first minute.
Right.
And even to this day, 17 years later, we do. We have a
like you gave birth to a critic.
I'm not kidding you. It's really, the other one, we bonded immediately and all. This one, I remember my wife was exhausted, so I thought, well, I'll do what I did with the first one, who was like 2 or whatever. And I packed up the brand new baby, 2 weeks old, whatever, put him in that thing in the front, and began walking in the Hollywood Hills. And after about 20 minutes, I couldn't take the face he was giving me. It was almost like being with somebody, and he couldn't speak, but he was going, you. It was one of these, the face was all crunched up. Hated my guts. And would never go on a walk with me or nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it took me years. I don't know how many years, 8 or 10 years to get the kid to even trust me.
Who would have thought that a kid wouldn't like to be carried like an Ewok?
I don't know what that is. How did our parents carry us? That we didn't have a backpack. We didn't have a.
Guess what else we didn't have back then? Were TVs in the friggin' car for the kids, like every parent. You know what our parents had? Backhands. That's what they had. That was the TV show you watched in that fucking car. You interacted with your parents on road trips.
Wait till you travel.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You will take everything that child
I'm putting a big
needs.
screen in that friggin' thing.
No, but when you go someplace, airplane, whatever, you've seen it. I mean, you're traveling to do a comedy show. You see some poor bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're cursing them under your breath as they're walking onto the plane. You're like, this motherfucker, I gotta fly.
And they have to bring the stroller.
Yeah.
That they're used to, Oh, yeah. So for like 8 or 10 years, you're pretty much done. Now, of course, 4 or 5 more women have come out against Sandra Bullock's husband. And it's really sad. I mean, and I'll tell you why it's sad. She really seems to be like a nice person. And now she has been taking care of his little girl by the porn star who she loves.
Well,
right?
She went through a heated custody battle for this guy. Like, she really, I mean, she went to bat for this kid and for him.
And decided not to have her own children so that she could focus on the little girl. And he was with not Pam Anderson. He was with Jama Jennison, right?
Jenna Jameson.
Jenna Jameson. Then, what did I call her? Jama Jennison?
Jama Jennison.
That's actually a good name for a new porn star. Well, Jama Jennison.
She could use that name because she doesn't look anything like Jenna Jameson, so she might as well use a different name.
Jama Jennison. You know what? Jenna Jameson could sue you, I guess. Jama Jennison.
And Jimmy Jimerson.
And James Jesse. We change everybody's name. Thomas. That's what Howard said about me, or somebody said Thomas J. Thomas. Letterman said it. It's interchangeable. Back and forth. Whatever.
I know you had Robin on the show. Did she mention that you were all the rage on Guatemalan television?
And then told me I was fat and old. Yeah, we had a great time, Robin and I. It was like for the first time in her life, she was allowed to become, be who she really is.
Right.
You a raving bitch to me on the radio.
Raving bitch.
Yeah, she was just on me, attacked me. It was so bad that I actually started reading articles about lenses and stuff. Because just recently, when I did this cold case, I'm watching it. And I'm thinking, Jesus, I don't know what it is. I look like I have jowls or something, And my wife said, oh, it must be your shirt. I'm going, my shirt?
What does that have to do with my face?
I didn't know what that meant. So I kept looking, going, I don't think that's my shirt. Do I look like that? So she goes, well, you look different on TV and in the movies. I go in the bathroom. And I look at myself in the mirror and I go, I mean, I'm not handsome, but I look better than that. And I read this article. Rodney Conover was mentioning it to me yesterday, Garrett. What's the name of the lens? It's a lens that Russell Crowe. Remember when Russell Crowe would look kind of fat in the movies? Remember this? And you would think he gained weight or something, right? You ever notice that about Russell Crowe? He looks puffy sometimes in movies. He would not do a movie with this type of lens.
It was like analectic or something, or anamorphic.
I forget the name of it. Yeah. But what it does is obviously it's a lens, it's curved, and they say it makes you look 20 pounds heavier and all this kind of stuff. And so that's what it is. So I was just thinking about it, right?
By the way,
Robin comes on and says, I saw you on TV. You look like fat and old.
Yeah, well, you had to watch me in Guatemala, so there. How do you like that? I just wanted to clarify that Jesse James was married to Janine Lindemuller.
Yeah, that's
not,
is that what her name is as a porno star?
She just went by Janine for a long time. She was like the Cher of porn. A lot of outfit changes.
Tatted up, too.
Yeah, well, I think that's the move over there is in porn. They eventually hate themselves so much that they cover themselves in disgusting tattoos.
The woman that started this all is, if you... and you can go and look at this picture online, I'm sure.
Michelle Baum?
Bombshell McGee.
Oh yeah.
Her picture, she is sitting on a bomb, and there are propellers on her nipples. Have you seen this one?
I have yet to see that.
There are propellers on her nipples. And she's got a bullet belt on, no clothes, the tattoos. And, of course, she's getting her master's degree. Have you read this one yet?
I believe
She's getting her master's degree. Yeah.
in bomb diffusion.
I don't know what she's getting it in. But she went over there to meet Jesse James, according to these alleged reports. Somebody has already hired Gloria Allred.
Yeah, she's like the go-to. It's like the Inquirer, Gloria.
Well, I don't know why do you need an attorney? I don't know if you screw in another woman's husband, why do you need an attorney for what? But I don't know what
ready,
could happen.
man.
Adultery is not. I mean, you can get divorced for any number of reasons, but I don't think adultery in most states is a viable reason for adultery. For a divorce.
I got news for you. This thing of these skanks coming forward and outing these guys is the new little dog in Hollywood. You know what I mean? It's the new accessory. It's the in thing, and it's what everyone is going to start doing now. You're going to start seeing so many celebrities getting buried now because these chicks are seeing it's exposure, and they're getting money. You can't tell me that there's one chick that's come forward with their story of either banging Tiger or banging Jesse James that hasn't been given any type of compensation.
This one, the new one, is Brigitte Daguerre. She's a photographer in L.A., hired a couple of years ago by Jesse James to be a stylist for a photo shoot. Now, I dated a lot of women, and nothing was going on in their lives, and they would tell you they were a photographer,
right.
You know?
Right.
And I bought them a camera, and I, helped them build the dark room. I mean, everybody who's got nothing going becomes a photographer.
Right.
She said they had sex 4 times, but he had sent her 195 text messages. And they save all the text messages.
Yeah.
She is going to release those.
Sweet.
Do you really want to know what Jesse James says to somebody? I mean, I don't, he's not the brightest bulb, in the garage, for sure. The new mistress charges that the affair just ended, and she's got all the text messages to prove it. And somebody or other has hired Gloria Allred. She won't say. He pursued her and had strong feeling for her. And she's going to, and poor Sandra Bullock. Oh, my God.
Well, they were saying
darling.
He basically, at one point, I think they're saying allegedly just started putting out ads on the internet, like to hook up with chicks. I mean, this guy, I've heard Mike Walker from the National Enquirer. He was on with Howard.
Great guy, huh?
Yeah, salt of the earth. And he mentioned that they're saying that it's going to be up around 11 chicks coming forward.
One girl said Jesse James would take her into his office and lock the door while Sandra was in the garage. So the wife I don't know what she was doing in the garage. And another woman, a 32-year-old single mom, was so smitten with Jesse James, she would drop everything, run over for nooners with him at the garage. Where is the garage? It's in California, right?
Yeah.
God. And another employee, Deanne McClung, McClung, McClung? God.
McClung.
She sued, claiming that Jesse James, now this is alleged, locked her in his office, forced her to perform oral sex, and then fired her.
Well, if she did a better job, maybe she would have kept
Can
the
you
job.
hold on, watch this. All right, Luann, come in here for a second. Yeah, no, come on. All right, get down there and start sucking on it, baby. Come on, where? Come here, God damn it, come here. Are we talking? Wouldn't you say that's on the outskirts of rape on some level? Allegedly,
Well, it's definitely harassment.
Well, It is on harassment.
How are you with dictation, my dear? How about I just picture him going, your wife's on line 1. Honey, I'm swamped here at the office. I'm not going to get out of here. I got clits, I got balls, I got things going on. I got to call you back.
This is all alleged, of course. We have no idea. Jesse James could be the most wonderful man in the world, and all these accusations could be actually just exactly what they are.
Let me just quote a very wise man on my fan page on Facebook, Martin White, who writes, "Adultery's like shitting your pants. Only the first one surprises you."
Jesse James, according to Deanne McClung, and this is her quote, is a brutal, terrible person with no heart and no conscience. He uses people to get what he wants, and then he throws them away.
Are you talking about you? Oh, no, Jesse. I'm sorry.
Jesse James.
Sorry.
When I go online to get these stories, you always, they don't want you just to read it now. For some reason, the New York Post and these various services, they hire somebody to read the horrifying story now. So it's in front of you, and then it's not even a local television station. Garrett, do we have the two stories? I think, is this guy work for the Post? Who is this guy that worked? They used to have a woman that was really bad, and they got rid of her.
Mm-hmm.
Is this from the Post, the New York Post?
Yeah, I don't know the guy's name.
Okay. So, Shuli, listen to this guy. His job is to get the scumbag story.
Right.
And he reads the scumbag story. Now, whatever your dreams were as a child, and you probably went to college to get a degree in journalism, and then this becomes your job.
This is the tattooed model that has reportedly come between Sandra Bullock and husband Jesse James. Covered from head to toes with tattoos. Michelle Bombshell McGee claims she first made contact with James back in 2009 while looking for a modeling gig with his motorcycle company. The self-proclaimed trophy girl went on to say that they hit it off immediately while Sandra was off crafting her Oscar-winning performance in The Blind Side. According to McGee, when she's not taking credit for breaking up a marriage, she's working on her master's degree in biochemistry, modeling for magazines, and working towards covering her entire body with tattoos. Oh, and she really likes motorcycles. Maybe that's how Jesse James got the key to her heart.
Ooh. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I bet he popped a wheelie in her asshole. Back to you, Janet.
The key to her heart, and she's trying to get a degree in what? Biochemistry?
Biochemistry.
No,
Jesus.
Biochemistry.
Do you have the one where he talks about her being really pretty and normal in high school? Do you have this one?
Yes.
Covered in head to toes.
Now, of course, when you meet a woman, and I've said this a million times, or a guy, when you meet, and I was in the gym yesterday, and it was really funny because these four white guys look like skinheads to me. But then they were working out with a black guy, and his head was shaved also. So everybody's head was shaved, and they all had the giant muscles. And it's 9 o'clock in the morning, right? And they're all shoving as much weight as they can shove. Tattoos everywhere. Now me, Shuli, I'm over there with my Sirius XM T-shirt, and my baggy shorts. Oh yeah, of course. And so I'm, I don't even put any weight on the bar, I just use the bar, right?
Bar's heavy.
They're lifting everything into place. And I'm looking at them going, we might as well be in the in the yard at San Quentin.
Sure.
Right? We might as well be, at Sing Sing, because they had to learn how to work out and the tattoos and all of that in prison, right? So they're all working out, and I'm going, and they have them on their neck. And so as soon as you see that, whatever you tell a person with tattoos, it's not going to be safe.
No.
Because their whole life is, look at me, I got something to say, somebody beat the crap out of me, something happened to me, but they start as somebody's little baby, just like your little daughter, Julie. And this is how this Bombshell McGee, whatever her name is, this is how she started. Hit it.
Can you believe that this innocent-looking girl and this tattooed model are the same person?
No.
But it's true.
Wow.
Before she covered 90% of her body, including her forehead, with tattoos, and claimed to be having an affair with Sandra Bullock's husband, Jesse James, Michelle McGee was a model pupil at Eastlake North High School in Ohio, making the honor roll all 4 years. She was also a standout player on the soccer team, a track and field star, and unbelievably even a cheerleader. Wow. Looks like she was a trophy girl long before it was tattooed on her stomach. But her edgier side began to show senior year when she cut off all her hair and posed for her yearbook photo with an eyebrow piercing. 14 years later, the only bombshell is her perfectly normal upbringing.
There you go. That's that scumbag guy again.
Hard hitting.
I want to thank Mark Shell for sending me this gorgeous woman from the curling championship. The Denmark skip. Her name is Madeleine Dupont. Have you seen her?
No, I have not, but Garrett.
During the Olympics,
Hello.
she apparently got drunk and took her top off and showed everybody her tits and stuff. And she looks like okay looking when she's doing the curling thing. She is really fine. She's
Yeah,
really
if they
gorgeous.
had topless curling, I would get season tickets.
They dress like women that work for like a maid service
I saw in the
when
news
they're curling.
that
the uniforms aren't attractive.
they have
But,
wheelchair
man, she's
curling.
really fine.
They have
They
curling.
have wheelchair curling. That's good for wheelchair people.
But
the curling.
some dudes got busted for like drug testing or something. They use some sort of drugs.
Wait a minute. They're in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
You know what? If you were a paraplegic, you ought to be allowed to do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the game plan? Are they sitting in a room somewhere going, how do we make curling even more boring? Let's let
It isn't
wheelchairs
boring,
up.
though. Did you watch it? It isn't boring. I can't explain it, but you can't turn it off.
No, I can explain it. When you have weed, it's not boring. It's actually interesting.
No, I'm not. No, I was completely straight. And I was in a couple of bars during the Olympics, and the
Sweep! Sweep!
No,
Sweep!
you'd be frozen.
Hard! Really hard! It was the Paralympics, and the guy failed a drug test. They tested positive for something to make him walk.
Drug test a guy in a wheelchair.
I know,
I
right?
lost my legs. I can't use my legs.
Give us your bag. We have to test your urine.
I'm paralyzed from the chest down, okay? If you want to take heroin, it's all right with me.
Yeah,
all right?
I dove into a pool that wasn't deep enough. You know what? I'm going to fucking smoke a joint. Get off my back, jerk off.
You can do whatever you want to do. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, my dad, his best friend from high school and college was a handsome guy and was a fighter pilot. And just before he was going to take off in World War II, he was, of course, drunk, crashed a Jeep, and became a paraplegic, right? And never got a chance to fight in the war. Who does he marry? The German nurse who had lost her entire family in the Second World War, okay? So they would come to visit us, once or twice a year. Max Chenoweth was the guy's name. And he was really like, movie star handsome, but he's in the wheelchair. And, of course, the wife never said anything, right? So they would come to visit. And this guy drank from the moment he arrived at our home. He would start at 8 in.the.morning with a glass of scotch. And by that night, it was, son of a bitch. And he drank all. And my dad's, I said, why does he drink so much? He goes, he's in a friggin' wheelchair.
What do you care?
I mean, my dad, I was a little boy. He said, whatever Max wants to do, he can do. And my dad, he drank, he cried, he bitched. Next morning, for about an hour or two, he was okay. And then as the day went on, and the wife, I don't know what she did, we had to move him around so he didn't get bed sores. I remember that one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're in a wheelchair, something happened to you, You can do whatever you want to do. That ought to be the law. You even can't get caught drunk driving. They just tell you to take it easy.
Eric on my fan page just thought of a T-shirt idea for you based on what you said. If you want to take heroin, it's all right with me, Jay Thomas.
That's right. Only if you're a paraplegic.
Right. Big thumbs up.
Yeah, that's right. You know. Or how about they stop you and they go, okay, oh, you're crippled? All right.
I'll put the Coke back in your medicine bag. Sorry.
Have a nice day. And you give them a little, have a nice day. Apparently P. Diddy has made fun of American vodkas. Have you read this?
What's going on?
If you're not drinking Ciroc vodka, then you're drinking PP. And now the American vodka producers are demanding an apology. What are you, nuts? P. Diddy is the spokesman for the French vodka. And now American vodka companies or whatever are making pictures of the Ciroc vodka in a toilet bowl. The show that he's,
getting ugly. This is how the East Coast West Coast rap war started.
Octomom, the woman with how many kids she had? 14? 6 and then 8 she had, right?
Yeah, I know they just installed an Easy Pass in her twat the other day. So yeah,
she is now an advocate of animal neutering. By the way, she's broke again. Did you read this?
What a shock. What, she have to
when
buy
it all
formula?
Started. Now remember, this Kate plus 8 and this Octomom apparently had no sex to have these children.
Right.
All of these kids, this Kate Gosling's children, that poor bastard John, who some people say weighs 300 pounds now. It was all, shoved in her, what is that? The fertilization thing, And so no sex. So now she's an advocate for animal neutering in exchange for payment that may help her save her. She's broke again. The kids were paid $250,000 apiece. So that's 8 kids, couple of $1 million. Then she was paid $1 million. So she's gone through $3 million. She has accepted an offer from the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and they're going to put a sign in her front yard that claims, "Don't let your dog or cat become an Octomom. Always spay or neuter."
God, the fuck, man. I mean, she's on Dancing with the Stars. She supposedly has her own show coming out on TLC.
I think that's all over. That's done. She's finished. PETA will pay her $5,000, according to CNN, and a month's supply of veggie burgers and veggie hot dogs for her entire family. So Octomom, Garrett, to be honest, she's probably low enough that we can probably book her on my show soon.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, we got to get
extra money.
No, we don't pay.
I know.
We do not pay.
I didn't think I'd wake up to earth-shattering news that a woman with 14 kids is broke. Okay?
You want to go home?
Yeah. I was.
Next week, I'll be taking some time off, and I was going to rerun some shows and call it The History of Jay Thomas and all that. And I was told I couldn't do it because Howard Stern calls it The History of Howard Stern. So then I was going to call it The Jay Thomas Hot Tub Time Machine. Did you hear about all this shit?
No.
And the lawyers at SiriusXM said that whatever company that is that's producing that would sue us. I guess they checked on it. And that movie company said if I called it the Jay Thomas Hot Tub Time Machine, they would sue us. And I thought, wouldn't that promote the movie? Wouldn't that, And so people have been, giving me ideas. And this guy Hatley came in and said, why don't you call your rerun? Does Howard call his Mammary Lane?
Mammary Lane, yes.
Taint Alley.
Taint Alley's a good one.
Taint Alley.
What about Jay Thomas Bathtub Time Machine?
Oh, I tried everything. Oh, no. Yeah, I did it. You're way ahead of me.
Whirlpool Time Machine.
Whirlpool.
Really?
Jacuzzi Time Machine. I tried it all. What was the other? Jana Jemison.
The Jay Thomas guy blowing bubbles with his mouth time machine.
Boulevard of Broken Taints. That's what we could call it. I don't know. What did we decide on, Garrett, finally?
We never decided on anything.
Anything?
We decided on a medley of different ones.
J. Thomas presents Taint Misbehavin'.
And finally, as you know, I'm an actor sometimes, and I have to keep my mouth shut on the set of most movies. And actors and actresses tell lies to themselves, or they couldn't do the movies that they do. And let's just take Brokeback Mountain. Heath Ledger is making out with Jake Gyllenhaal, and they're kissing each other in the tent and all of that stuff. And neither one of them is gay. And Shuli, you and I get hired, and we're going to play gay guys, and we have to kiss each other. Okay? There's got to be some lie you tell yourself that it's okay to do that, right?
Right.
So what as an actor, what lie would you tell yourself? What would you tell yourself that tonguing me and letting me ravage your body and suck your nipples and all that, what lie would you tell yourself?
Well, I was thinking of the lie just for kissing you. Then you mentioned the nipples and then everything else.
Oh, no, I would go down around your navel and, you know, the hair around your navel.
Is this just your come on line, or is there really a movie?
No, I'm just telling you, as an actor, I'd have to do all that stuff to you. See?
Just be gentle. That's all I ask. Go slow.
Well, what we'd have to do is we would be given the script.
I'd lie to myself and I'd tell myself somebody would see this movie. No,
we're important actors. You and I are well known. You're Shuli. I'm Jay Thomas. Well known, and it's called Middle Age Bang from Behind is the name of the
Time
show.
Machine.
It's My Ass Hot Tub Time Machine. You know. But the lie we would tell each other.
I don't know
if
I could lie to myself like that, man. I'd have to see the check. I'd have to tape the check to your face.
Well, you wouldn't say that. See, you wouldn't. You never say you're doing it for the money. It's like Dennis Haysbert, the guy that does the Allstate commercials.
Okay.
They had him at the big Allstate convention the other day, and they're trying to figure out what to do about health care and the insurance and all that. And I'm thinking, why don't you just sell it for less? And not drop so many people, and when you need an operation, let them have it, and don't, you know, screw people for existing conditions. Dennis Haysbert, they said, they asked him a question. Why are you the spokesman for Allstate Insurance? And he said, because my parents had Allstate Insurance when I was a kid.
Please.
And I'm thinking, you mean the $1 million has nothing to do with it?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like if Geico had asked you to put the gerbil up your ass or whatever that lizard is, right? So
I could get through the scene if I could write my account balance on your back.
Right. So we would have to lie to each other that it's an important scene, it's necessary,
Oscar-worthy,
whatever. All of it.
Right.
And you'd have Ang Lee, the gay Chinese director, would be bouncing around, and his scarf would be getting in our faces, and he would be telling us, you know, how important all this is that we're doing and all this stuff. And so there's a movie coming out with Amanda, is it Seyfried, I believe? I watch her on Big Love, and she was in Mean Girls, and she's really good looking. And Julianne Moore, who did the movie about making pornos, with, you know, Dirk Diggler, Boogie Nights, right? And in that movie, you know, this is a married woman, right? In that movie, banging all kind of guys and grabbing them and making out with women. So she's got a new movie coming out with this Amanda Seyfried, called Chloe. Chloe stars in the movie as a girl. Now, this is a deep script. As a woman that meets women and has threesomes with them and their husband and the whole thing. I mean, it is just a pornographic film.
Awesome.
So these actors have lied to each other that this is some important piece of movie making, and you could turn on, you know, Adult in Demand in your room or at your house at any time, and you're going to see, except now I guess they put a plot to it or whatever, right? So they interview these people. So they send of course, the gay reviewer goes, I want you to listen, Shuli, how they have described, Julianne Moore and this Amanda Seyfried, how they have explained to themselves as actors why they're doing a movie about people who are bisexual and get into piles with each other and want to have multiple sex partners. Garrett, hit this.
I don't usually meet with women. Couples, yes, but single women.
I think my husband would like you. What's your name?
It's Chloe.
It's one of those scripts I would imagine kind of jumps out at you from the minute you pick it up.
Oh, yeah. It was super challenging and really interesting.
I mean, it's a circus, really.
Was that part of the attraction, really stepping outside your box and tackling something you've never done before?
Yeah, but also it's rare to find that kind of character when you're 20, I think I was 21. When it comes along, you kind of grab onto it. And no matter how scared you are, you step up to the plate.
That's deep.
Unbelievable.
They're kissing.
Yeah, they're making out, right?
Obviously, the scene that a lot of people are going to buzz about your character and Amanda's character is in a revealing situation. And I'm wondering, did it take any sort of liquid courage on your part just to get over that?
No. I would never do that when I was working.
I didn't do any of that, actually, on this film. Not in this film.
Yeah, she searched long and hard for a script to get her naked at 21. Those don't float around Hollywood a lot.
Did the script jump out at you, the guy says?
Is your box fully trimmed or...
And he actually says, did you have to think out of your box? That's what he said to her, right? And it's a movie about two women, or the one woman, the young woman, Chloe, who screws everybody, right? Except it's not going to be as good as something that Red Light Pictures would put out, or Vivid Entertainment, because it's not going to, show us.
They're going to talk a lot in it.
Yes, they're going to be talking. And there's going to be some deep reason.
Yeah, there's like a plot.
Yeah. Like why Chloe has to make out with men and women and lick them, and then the housewife with the husband and the whole thing. And in my life, whenever you meet somebody that you know is going to get into a pile with you and a bunch of friends, Shuli, the last thing you want to do is hear about their life. Okay?
Right.
In fact, after you have your orgasm, if she dies and you hear about it later, you won't really be sorry until you want to come again,
Well, it's like we're in combat. The less I know about you, the less I get attached. When you step on a landmine, I'm not going to fucking cry about it.
I mean, it is unbelievable to me. I mean, Amanda Seyfried and Julianne Moore, you're lying to yourselves, okay? For whatever reason you want to do the movie or money or whatever the thing is, it's just women making out and screwing a number of people in a movie, and that's it, okay? Now, also, it's not going to play in Nebraska. It's not going to play in Kansas, It's just, unbelievable. So, Shuli, just in case, they ever cast you in a film where you have to make out with a man, I always like
I'm sure that's coming if Howard doesn't resign. I'm sure
there you go.
I have the plot of the movie if you want to.
Let's hear it, Gary. Let's hear the plot.
Julianne Moore is throwing a surprise party for her husband, Liam Neeson, who's coming home. And everyone's at the house, and he doesn't show up. And she looks through his text messages somehow and sees that he's texting his
Gloria Allred. Is he texting Gloria Allred in the film?
So 2 weeks later, her and Liam Neeson go to dinner, and while she's in the bathroom, she meets Chloe, and they start up their affair.
Now, who are the texts that she finds him texting another woman?
Reading a text message sent to David's phone the following morning, from one of his female students.
It was on Ashley Madison. I think he was
right. So he's screwing somebody else. I guess Liam Neeson's over the death of his wife. So he's screwing.
Time to go back to work.
I mean, he had to be filming this during the death, right? So he's screwing one of his students, and the wife gets him back by hiring a woman to screw her husband to get their relationship together.
You showed him. Good job, honey.
No, she just goes to the bathroom and meets Chloe in the bathroom, and they start.
They hook. Oh, no, what happens? Do they all get together? They all
a film about what the fist wants, the fist gets.
I just watched Rob Roy. That Liam Neeson, he's like 6'4", you know.
By the way, great
Tim
suggestion.
Roth rapes his wife, the woman that's married to Sam Shepard. What's her name? Rapes her.
I don't know. With an intro like that, I don't know if
Tim,
I remember the name.
you've never seen Rob Roy?
No, I've had a couple.
Tim Roth plays this typical fruity, Duke on horseback, right? And he rides into the Scottish people's. He rides into their camp where all the houses have like a grass roof, right? And it takes him 5 minutes to find the bad guy. So Rob Roy runs off into the hills because something happened. There's a misunderstanding, and of course the English, and he goes in, and with that curly hair, the fake curly hair, he takes his clothes off, and what is her name? She's married to Sam Shepard. She was in King Kong years ago and stuff. Really, good
Fay
looking.
Ray?
No. But he just takes everything off. They bends her over a desk, and it's almost like a comedy bit. He just goes, like that. And I'm watching and going, oh my God, it's awful,
Yeah.
And so then she has to go down to the river and try and wash the English semen out of her, And of course, when the husband finds out, well, all hell breaks loose. But so I'm watching
Jessica Lange.
And so, and then Tim Roth, of course, whispers to her husband later on, it seemed like your wife enjoyed it. Like that. He turns to another guy after he does it, and he goes, you can have her now. I've loosened her up for you. Like that. He is so evil. And I'm watching it going, now there you go. That's a scene about sex in the movies. Okay? That's it. We don't need to sit down and pretend, By the way, did you think out of your balls before you took it? So.
I was going to tell you, Liz Mary suggested a title for your Best Of show.
What?
This one I don't think will get you in any legal trouble. Jay Thomas's Avatar.
All right. That's Shirley, and of course, I'm your main host.
Howard 101.
Jay Thomas.
It's the weirdest and the wildest. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Jay Thomas Show. Howard 101.
In the heyday of Saturday Night Live, Tom Davis and Al Franken, Franken and Davis were, as you know, surely a big writing team back then.
Quite the duo, Jay.
They wrote Sex Offenderville, which was one of my favorites. They also they invented the Coneheads, with Dan Aykroyd while they were on LSD. I might add.
I think they also invented the key bump.
The key bump?
Yeah, with blow. When you throw it on the key. Key bump.
Really? They invented that? And oh yeah, heroin, everything was done. And we spoken to Tom before, but I guess the book is coming out in paperback, and he will talk about his days at Saturday Night Live. But the other thing is, Al Franken, who I worked with over at the Bill Maher Show, Politically Incorrect, and have known for years, is a comedian, and he's now a United States Senator. And every time I hear him talk, I keep waiting for a punchline. But Al seems to know how the Senate works. I guess you have to go to school to learn those, whatever it is, the procedures, the parliamentary procedure? I don't know. But he seems, and he's running something or other. So I keep hearing him, and I keep waiting for like a punchline or whatever. I just can't, get it in my head. The same thing with Ronald Reagan, who I don't know why people think he's so fucking great, but, he's an actor, for Christ's sakes. Did you see the spots that GE is doing now?
No, I didn't see him.
Before he was the president, before he saved the world, that's what the spot says. He was on the GE Theater. He was the host of the GE Theater.
Oh, please.
And he would come on, and I remember my dad saying, he must need a job really badly. I swear to God. Because, he was a B-movie actor.
Right.
He also turned down Casablanca. Did you know that?
No.
He turned it down.
And he was with a monkey in one of the movies, right?
Ronald Reagan? Was he with? Yeah, Bonzo plays football or whatever it was.
Right.
And terrible actor. And Jane Wyman, who was married to him, when he starts running for president, she said, I hope he's a better president than he was a screw. Did you ever read that?
No.
Oh, yeah. She said he was bad in bed, everything else. Then the rumor was that Nancy, his lovely wife, this is all alleged, was, gave everybody great head in Hollywood, right? All this stuff's coming out. So he's elected and everything else. I'm sure he's, on some level, a nice guy. But when he was hosting the GE Theater, he just sat in a chair and said, here's the movie, right? It would be like that guy on Turner Classic Movies runs for the United States Senate. We elect him.
Yeah.
Because he sits there with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and they talk about his favorite movies.
Elvira is our Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, all of that. That's right. So when I hear Al Franken, I'm sure actors and actresses and all, they have some abilities beyond acting and, whatever.
Well, how about, take a look at, Schwarzenegger over there. There's clips of him talking about how pumping iron is like coming. And when he's lifting weights, it's like he's coming. And that guy's in charge of shit.
Well, we're laying in bed last night and they're running ads for, this weekend. They're going to run some sort of Terminator weekend on one of the channels. And I turn to my wife and I go, can you believe he's the governor? And she goes, no, I can't. They threw kind of a decent guy, Governor Davis. They threw him out of office. They removed him in the middle of his, of his term because of Enron or some shit. But he wasn't in trouble criminally. And then you find out later that Enron was actually doing all the bad stuff. And they elect a German guy, for Christ's sakes. He can't become president. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
You got to be an American citizen to become president.
So far.
Right. So we'll have Tom Davis on. And I always love to hear some of the great things that we love about what we saw on television, and they were fueled by heroin and LSD. Shuli, I don't know about you, but I always like to hear how these, because didn't it seem like most of those ideas came out of drugs?
Oh yeah, the samurai deli.
Yes.
How about the babysitter? Remember Buck Henry used to play that pedophile babysitter?
And the girls would slide down the banister right into his face.
Yeah.
All that. Is Ray of Philadelphia there? Hello, Ray. How are you? Is he there?
I love you. Yeah, sure. Hold on. You there?
Yeah, what are you doing? Buying something? Going through the
No. I'm a truck driver, so I was listening to you on the speakerphone.
Getting a donut? You're getting a donut? I love that when they're getting a donut. Then that's okay. That's all right.
Little lot lizard action early in the morning.
Yeah, it's daylight now. Daylight is dawned here. So
where are you right now? Because daylight hasn't dawned on me yet. I'm in California.
I'm in Newville, Pennsylvania, exit 37.
Oh, Newville.
Yes, Newville, PA.
The weather here, Jay. Okay, I love that guy. It's funny. Thanks for taking this call, man. It's funny that you brought this up about people and acting and what they wind up doing later on in life. I want to say, first of all, that I love Shuli's fucking ass, and I want to see a DVD of your comedy, you and Jay. I want to know where we can find something like that, because I appreciate your story.
Julie, do you have any...
well, I'm working on putting together... I actually filmed a set, and I'm putting it together on a DVD, and maybe some of the bonus features on it will have something with Jay and I.
Sweet. You know what? You should have cashed in when you guys had Artie there as a cash cow. You could have got a DVD out of his ass. But because he's very generous.
I'm not allowed to say anything, and I said this before. If anybody else's co-host had done that, we would be shitting on him, and Howard would be shitting on him, and all. But because it's in our house, you can't shit on him. I totally disagree with that. I would have been making fun of him, but I've been told to keep my mouth shut, so I will.
I love Artie. His girl taught at the school. Where,
Julie, if you ever tried to kill yourself, I'm going to fucking shit on you, okay?
Not if I beat you there first, motherfucker.
Okay, good.
No,
I just want you to know that, you know, I think if it's good for people away from the building, it's good for the folks. And if ever I try to kill myself, please enjoy yourselves. Make a T-shirt, would you? So go ahead, Ray. Yes, sir.
Jake, you were in. I saw you. Well, first of all, my reason for calling was I had a name for your title for your shows when you wanted to replay them. I was going to say, why don't you just call it the Jacuzzi Chronicles, and you could spell jacuzzi with the J-A-Y if you wanted to.
I think that bit was over before I started it about 20 minutes ago, so.
I know. I was on hold waiting for you. And also, I saw you in Mr. Holland's Opus, right? Like Wednesday.
Now, did you have a specific question when you dialed the phone? Because where are we going? Because, you know, this is not about you and I bullshitting at the truck stop, okay? This is
I saw a piece of lettuce.
Like my job, you know what I'm saying?
I stood on the hold for like 40 minutes.
Well, just because you're on hold a long time doesn't mean you have to bore the rest of us.
Jay, I saw a head of lettuce. It looked like your face.
What's the specific? What was the original germ of idea you had when you called?
You just got done talking about people, when you look at Schwarzenegger or somebody like that talking and you realize what he used to do before. When I saw Mr. Holland's Opus the other day, I said, now, Jay was a handsome guy back then, and all I could hear every time, because I saw the scene where you guys were on the fan field, and you were saying, I need you to take over this kid and make him a better, player in your band. And then every time I heard you talking on the screen, I kept thinking, now, this is the Jay Thomas that I hear who says, I've had every fucking opportunity in Hollywood to make it, and this is why I'm bitter. So when I see your face on the screen, I'm like, he doesn't know, like 20 years from now, he's going to be bitching.
That's exactly. So you're looking at me saying he didn't realize at that moment. You're correct. I thought I was done. Movies the rest of my life. I was going to play everybody's friend. I would live in a mansion. You're exactly correct. You're right. That's 20 years ago, that wasn't even 20. That's like 15. I'm sitting there going, you bet your fucking. You're right. Well, thank you for that. That's something I'll carry with me the whole weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, see you later. Tom Davis. Tom, welcome back to the Jay Thomas Show here at Howard 101 with Shuley. How are you?
Hey, Jay, it's great to hear you.
Now, when you came on before, did you come on this show, or I think it was the afternoon show, right?
No, it was the morning show.
Came on the morning show with us before
in studio
for the hardback. For the hardback.
Right now, I'm on my paperback tour here.
Right now,
we got a few extra pictures and a new cover, so and it's a lot cheaper too. So if you've been waiting, this is the one.
Now, the book is 39 Years of Short-Term Memory Loss. Correct? All right. And for those of you that love Saturday Night Live, now I couldn't name one person that's on there, but Tom was the original cast, correct? You were there right at the beginning of the whole thing of Saturday Night Live.
I was indeed, Jay.
Right. And you were with Al Franken, and you met at some little school in Minnesota.
High school, we call it.
High school.
That's crazy. They have something called high school in Minnesota?
They do. They do. It was a great high school, and we met in like 67 or 68. And we were, we were comedy partners and roommates for nearly 20 years. And
then you had one of those breakups, right?
Yeah, we had a nasty breakup, but and I talk about that in the book, of course. But we've got. He's like my brother. And,
what was the breakup about? I mean, Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin broke up, and
that's true. I mean, and Martin and Lewis were together for 10 years, and we were together for 20. Now, if you were to compare us to Martin and Lewis, Al would be Jerry, and I would be Dino.
Right, of course you would.
And if you compared us to Simon and Garfunkel, Al would be like Paul Simon, I would be like Art Garfunkel, and if Sonny and Cher, Al would be Cher.
Well, I wanted to ask, in all the times that you guys back in the day would be under the influence, let's say, was there ever a point where Al looked at you as high as he could be and go, I want to be a senator one day, man? Like, did he ever even?
Yeah, in high school.
Really?
Honest to God, he he's always been interested in politics. I was interested in politics, but when he and I became, we started writing comedy together and satire. It was Nixon was a big thing, and Watergate, and his family was always involved with local politics in Minneapolis, where we grew up. And in his high school yearbook, he talks about, and there I was being sworn in on the on the steps of the Capitol. I mean, he's always dreamt about it, and I think he was born to be a senator. I really think that was his destiny from the beginning. And I'm the guy.
No, wait a minute. I've known Al Franken longer than you. I mean, I've known him. I haven't known you as long, but I've known Al Franken a long time. That didn't come out right. Not longer than you, but I've known Al Franken more than I know you.
You tell him, Jay.
And I never looked at Al Franken and said, "Now there's a United States senator." Okay.
Oh boy, I saw it coming. No,
really,
honest to God, because he's a brilliant mind.
Yes.
He believes in the work ethic, something I never did.
So you guys broke up because you were a heroin addict or something, and he just wanted to work on the comedy and stay fairly straight?
He was in Al-Anon, let's put it that way, and had issues with me clinging to the ethos of the 60s, shall we say. And also, we couldn't get our movie done. We couldn't get our own TV show. We never really had success anywhere except on Saturday Night Live. And so it was just like a marriage breaking up, kind of, where he could have blamed my lifestyle, and I could have blamed his accountant.
His accountant?
Yeah, I was arguing about money, and he was arguing about lifestyle. So it was the only way we could break up, because we were very close, and so we had to break up so he could go his own way. And I'm the guy who held Al Franken back for 20 years. So,
do you really feel that way?
No, I don't. But I was thinking the Republicans should be interested in interviewing me, but they're not.
Now, when 39 years of short-term memory loss came out, Al was running for the United States Senate. I don't think you didn't release it because he was running, but did anybody try and get any galleys from you? I mean,
no.
His opponent could have used all sorts of drug references and everything in the book.
No, they never. I was sort of expecting that, and I can't say I was disappointed, because I didn't want to do anything to hurt Al's thing, and we did wait till after the election until January to release the book, just to be sure. But the Republicans haven't come near it, and I guess I don't know. Maybe it's 300 pages long. My book. Maybe that's intimidated them. I don't know.
Julie, you have a question? Because I have other stuff, but go ahead. Tom Davis is here, by the way.
I just wanted to ask, besides Al, was there any, I know the friction between you guys was on and off. Was there any other friction back then in the SNL days with any other cast members that you had personally?
No, I got along with everybody, and so did
Wait a minute.
Al and
what
Mr.
about
Mike,
when they added Robert Downey Jr. and Anthony Michael Hall? You didn't like them at all, did you?
No, they made my year really miserable. But that was in 1986 when we were having just a disastrous year, and I can't blame those two guys for the disastrous year that we had. It was just they didn't help at all, but they were really young and goofy and very successful at that time, and I can't even blame them for that, because when I was 21 or however old they were, I was young and goofy too, and they just weren't interested in learning a new craft, which is what working on that show is. And Robert Downey Jr. is I haven't talked to him since then. I'm sure he's a wonderful person. And
now, he was hooked on everything too at that time?
Sure, we all went through that.
Did you ever shoot up with Robert Downey Jr.?
I never used a needle ever.
Oh.
Never, ever used a needle. I will say that.
How would you take the heroin? You'd snort it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love shoving things up my nose.
But I thought that could kill you, didn't?
So can shooting up.
I thought you could snort heroin and you could die from that.
Well, if you when you're a heroin addict, you always the bags used to come with different names, little like brand names on it, like DOA was,
Blue Magic.
And whenever somebody overdosed, we'd all want to go buy that stuff, whatever it was, because that was the good stuff.
That's like now, because I'm into pot and I watch this videos of this stuff. Salvia. Have you heard about this?
You can buy that at a health food store.
Yeah,
really?
But these kids,
it's the bark. It's the bark from some tree in South America.
Yeah, but you know what? My nephew, who is in some sort of drug, he got caught smoking a joint or two or whatever at Mardi Gras and arrested and all that, and he's in whatever that you're supposed to do.
He must have been misbehaving, just besides smoking, because to get arrested at the Mardi Gras, you really got to screw up.
He was talking back with a joint in his mouth, but he smokes the salvia, and they call it something, and they test for the pot, but they don't test for the salvia.
Well,
I smoked that stuff. Somebody came over and gave me some. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, I seen video of it, and this kid he takes a hit out of a bong and then freaks out for the next 5 minutes.
I've done it.
And like can't speak. He's like making sounds. He almost goes into being kind of retarded for 5 minutes. And the first thought is, I got to try that.
It's like a 10-minute long whippet.
Well,
yeah.
there you go.
But why would you, Tom?
Yeah.
Somebody dies from friggin' heroin,
and
you're saying, or from some drug overdose, and you would go out of your way. I mean, that's the danger of it, to do it up. It's almost like the people that strangle themselves while they're masturbating. That's big now.
Yes,
right.
Have you done that?
But do you ever?
That's not my thing. No. That's not.
I don't see how you keep a hard on while you're choking.
But Jay, people who die when choking while jerking off, you don't blame the belt after they die.
No, that's true.
You blame the guy who sold them the belt.
Right. When as far as people ODing on heroin, they just couldn't handle their shit.
That's right. Well, when in doubt, take half a hit.
39 years of short-term memory loss, Tom Davis. Yeah, take half a hit. Now, you were around when John Belushi died.
He was my pal.
He was your buddy. Were you in that room that night? And I'll tell you why I know about that. I was doing Mork and Mindy, and Belushi was in town, and when he would come in town, everybody got real excited. And he was at the Chateau Marmont, and which is a rundown hotel on Sunset.
I just stayed there recently. It's in top form.
Oh, it's in top form now?
Oh, yeah.
So, so everybody would go by his room, Shuli, like you would go and worship, the Buddha.
Right? Shrine.
And that night, I've always heard that Robin Williams and De Niro were hanging out together. And this is, maybe urban legend, but remember, I went to work the next day and, Belushi had died. And I heard that they went in and Belushi was laying on the bed. I guess he was doing speedballs, which was shooting coke in one arm and shooting heroin in another, which took you going in both directions.
Yeah, I don't know about that stuff, but yeah.
Really? You were never with him when he did that?
No. I mean, somebody had to write that show. And people kept thinking that I was at Studio 54 and CBGB's with Belushi the whole time. No, I had to work. Somebody had to write that show. I never went to see other shows. I didn't go to see Broadway shows and go out for. I couldn't go out for dinner with Lauren because he talked too long.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody had to write the show.
And it was going to be live on Saturday, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But in your opinion, Tom?
Belushi was a lot of fun, but I didn't get to go out with him.
Now, you know what? My impression of him was, as a stranger to him, he was a prick to me and to a lot of people around him, and rude and everything else.
Yeah.
I interviewed him on the radio before I was even an actor, and he carried a shoebox with him, and I'm pretty sure the shoebox was filled with cocaine.
And
Danny has always been, Aykroyd's always been wonderful to me for all the years I've known him. And he would apologize. He would apologize for Belushi, but Belushi could be a prick.
Well, I don't think it was Belushi. I think it was the drugs.
You can't blame the drugs. You can't.
No, you know what? I don't think he was friends with Jim either. I don't think he and Jim had a big relationship.
Oh, what? You're talking about his brother?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they were brothers, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but so
by the way, did you think that was weird that his brother
jumped on with Aykroyd
after he died, went on Saturday Night Live? I always thought that was odd.
Well, didn't he do Blues Brothers thing with Aykroyd
yes,
too?
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anything odd about that. And, I mean, what's Jim supposed to do? Stay out of show business, out of mourning or something?
Not necessarily, but he doesn't have to jump into Blues Brothers.
No, he was on Saturday Night Live.
No, I know. It's what. Listen, I'll give him the Saturday Night Live, but to go into a bit that Aykroyd and his brother made, famous.
Danny invited him to do that,
Really?
so that was Danny wanting to keep. Danny loves to play, and that's why they have that band. Is because Danny just likes to perform like that. He doesn't have the original Blues Brothers because they're just too damn expensive.
What
you go ahead, Shuli.
I just want to ask Tom, in your opinion, is Belushi the greatest cast member for that show? In your opinion?
No, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Is the greatest talent for that show that's ever been on that show, and everybody knows it. He was.
Wait a minute now. You know what? I think Will Ferrell comes in there somewhere.
I'm sure he does, but you're asking.
But I like Danny a lot. But don't you think Will Ferrell is?
No.
No.
See, I'm close to Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd is the most talented person that's ever done that show, and his talents are just particularly honed for it. That's not to take anything away from Will or anybody else, but in my opinion, Dan Aykroyd had, he was just a versatile writer. He wrote with everybody. He was a great performer, and he was a great supporting actor, too. He was delighted to support other people on the stage, and he was a more versatile. He wasn't just a persona who was the same persona in every character he did.
Right.
Dan was capable of doing completely different characters, and he's
like
also
driving Miss Daisy. He was great in that movie.
Of course. Well, that was also just a brilliant script to begin with, too, which and he auditioned for that movie, by the way. He read that script and wanted that part, that he auditioned for that because they did not choose him originally.
But Tom hit it right on the head. I love Will Ferrell. I love Farley on that show.
I love him too.
But they, after a while, it was the same character in whatever sketch they wrote. It was the same bit. And Aykroyd, you're 100% right. His range was ridiculous. I mean, he could do anything from accents to the fast-talking pitch guys. I mean, he was just all over the place.
And he had the amazing ability to be able to read cue cards out of the corner of his eye.
Yeah.
He could read them cold. We'd make changes during the air and forget to tell Dan that the thing had been changed. And he'd read them perfectly out of the corner of his eye. You never knew he was reading. Other people, you'd see them, following the lines on the cue cards because they didn't know their
I
lines.
would watch Farley sometimes, and he did everything but adjust his glasses and walk out of the lights to read the cue card. You know what I mean? Like, walk down to the bottom of the stage with the, hold on a second. Tom Davis is here, partnered with Al Franken for a long time, who's now the senator, as you know. The book has been out before as a hardback, and now it's in paperback. 39 years of short-term memory about his life on Saturday Night Live. When we come back, you'll hear about the Coneheads written on LSD. It's the Jay Thomas Show. Tom Davis is here, and Shuli.
Shuli, Madison, and Jay Thomas. The Jay Thomas Show. Howard 101.
More with Tom Davis, who one of the original writers. He and Al Franken were together forever. His book is 39 Years of Short-Term Memory Loss. And we'll take some questions from the listeners for the guest all the time. Shuli has a Facebook going. And later on, Eddie Izzard will be here. Shuli, you're a fan of Eddie Izzard's, the comic?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love him.
I love him. He's a transvestite who loves women, Tom.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He is good. He is funny.
He'll be on later. They've made a documentary of his life, and we will, I guess, have to speak to the producer, director lady also. I have no idea why.
2 for 1.
she's coming on with him. I don't give a shit what she thinks.
You never know. She may be more interesting than him.
I don't. No. And if they're listening, I'm sure they're no longer booked on this show.
Yeah. Way to go into the interview with the right attitude, Jay. Good job.
Surely you'll make someone a great wife one day. All right. No. I want her. I'll certainly want to speak with her, and everything else. But he's really. I mean, it's. I don't want Tom Davis and his wife on the show today. I'm sure she's a nice person, but the Tom's here. Are you married, by the way, Tom?
No, my girlfriend's sitting right across the table from me.
What's she doing?
Lindsay, she's having a cup of coffee and listening to one half of the conversation. She has no idea what you're talking about.
Well, you know what's funny now? Now that you said that, I would probably be interested in talking to her. See what a fool I am?
I know you,
what an idiot I am. Now, one of the interesting things in the book is that, and how you wrote some of the stuff, we all knew there was, but when you did the Coneheads.
Yeah.
What you and Aykroyd were on LSD. Did you actually begin to see the images of people's heads that were cone-shaped?
Saw my own head, cone-shaped, looking in the mirror, and there it was. But that's how my book starts out, because I'm not famous enough to start out with "I was born." I wanted to start with a nice taste of what fun we had, and Aykroyd and I went to Easter Island for Christmas in '76, and we brought along the Arthur Clarke book, Childhood's End, and I did have some LSD, and we were wandering around Easter Island, and he kept cracking me up by going, the heads, and also, we were both influenced by, that movie, This Island Earth? Do you remember that one?
Well, the space people, also the famous painting, The Scream, the head is kind of oval. But what are the statues called on Easter Island? What are those?
Monoliths.
The monoliths, but they don't exactly know who put them there. But
Rapa Nui.
What's that?
Baba Nui.
Baba Booey.
I thought he said Baba Booey, and then you were going to hang up.
That's Desi Arnaz, the conga line. Rapa Nui, Lucy.
So you were looking at the heads, you were stoned, and was there a hotel there? I mean,
yes,
I don't know.
There was one hotel at that time, owned by a German guy, and there was only one other couple that was staying in the hotel at the time, so he kind of took us under his wing and showed us where the nightlife was, which was a Quonset hut, where the locals would drink pisco, which is the popular drink in South America, made from a special kind of grape. It was funky. But the island itself is not that big, and it's the most remote point on the planet in terms of distance and landmass. And it's got an old volcano in each corner. It's like an isosceles triangle. And you wander around there and you stumble over faces sticking up out of the earth. Now, that was in '76. They probably different now. Certainly, since we were there, it changed. But it's been there a long time, and it's a lesson there for mankind to learn that the Rapa Nuians cut down all their trees, and they suffered from it. You got to.
So do the Haitians. The Haitians did the same thing.
The Haitians did the same thing, and
there is no wood in Haiti, but there's plenty of wood in the Dominican Republic.
Well, there you go. That must be all the action on the border there. So
let's get back to the Coneheads. You've gone. It's like you're on some sort of a trip right now.
Sure.
So did you write anything down, or do you just remember it and you get back to New York and then you write it?
We wrote the first Coneheads thing was kind of like two guys with those cone heads from outer space trying to pick up Earth girls, and it wasn't working. But the concept was, it's basically talking heads on Saturday Night Live, so let's make really big talking heads that go right out of the frame. And Lauren said, you guys, make it a family and put them in a living room. That was Lauren's idea. So we made them a family and put them in the living room, and the first sketch is all about, Dad, I know I'm different from all the other kids. Oh, you better tell her now, honey. It's we come from a planet and Ramulak. The whole thing comes out like that. But when the first big laugh was when Danny, honey, I'm home, and he takes off the stocking cap and reveals the cone for the first time, and it's got that quality of a laugh that you get every once in a while. That's what I live for. Still, is that real high quality laugh where everybody in the audience is like surprised and laughing at the same time. That's my favorite.
Now, you also tried to write a script with Jerry Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a heroin addict also at that time, I think.
We had a lot of fun, he and I.
Yeah, where's that script?
What's the question?
Where's the script?
Where's the trip?
No, the script.
Oh, the script. It's on my
shelf. That you tried to write with Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead.
They rolled it.
Where is it?
It was one of those projects that never went anywhere, and I was sure it was going to get done because Jerry, knows everybody, and Lucas is a friend of his, and I just thought we can get away with the first draft because he liked the first draft and I liked the first draft. So I blame myself. The script wasn't crafted in the right form, and I take responsibility for that.
You were loaded, for Christ's sakes.
We were so loaded. We had a meeting with Michael Ovitz, and Bill Murray was there, and there's several lawyers and a guy who had drawn designs and stuff. And
are you two on heroin? Are you two on heroin at the meeting?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was candies on the table, and Bill Murray was putting his mouth on the edge of he sat across from me, and he made his mouth like a pocket on a pool table, and I was rolling candies across the table into his mouth during the big meeting. So I don't know what happened, but we had a lot of fun writing the script. We took a couple of years to do that.
Jay,
go ahead. Sure.
Well, I have some questions.
We have questions for our guest. Yeah.
I don't know, Tom, what's going to upset you more, these questions or the fact that I have a fan page where I'm getting these from.
39 years of short-term memory. Tom Davis, one of the original writers and makers of Saturday Night Live, and, of course, was with Al Franken, who's now the great senator. Buy the book. You'll love it. 39 years of short-term memory. Tom, prepare yourself. These questions just come in from average, strange people.
I've got my feet planted. I'm ready for anything.
Go ahead, Shirley.
All right. Martin White asks, ask Tom if him and Franken threesomed the ape in Trading Places.
That's right.
Threesomed whom?
The ape in Trading Places.
Well, that was the joke was that the ape was having his way with
Jim
Belushi.
That's
yes,
right.
We have our theme today, I think. The scenes in Trading Places with Al and me, those were improvised. We, in fact, it was supposed to be Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis were supposed to do that function in that show, and they couldn't make it, so Danny got Franken and Davis to come in. And we, for 2 weeks, we would show up and get in makeup and costume and then go sleep in the trailer. And we were getting paid, so we were fine with that. And then finally we get the call, and we go out there, and John Landis was there with his hands on his hips. He goes, "So, what do you guys want to do?" And I was like, "What? We haven't looked at the script yet. How's my hair? Should I get a haircut?" His hair's fine. You're supposed to be the funny guys. What do you want to do? So the first scene that we shot was the party scene where we crash a party and we're dressed as baggage handlers, and I come up with the line, "You can imagine how embarrassed I was when I saw someone else wearing my costume." And Landis liked that, so he kept us, and we improvised another scene, and then the last scene we shot is our first scene in the movie, which was during a snowstorm in Newark at the train station, where we've got this electronic tractor that pulls the luggage, and we're arguing. And whenever Al and I didn't know what to do, we just argued because we're good at that. So,
who was in the ape suit?
Well, at that time it was a stuntman because they had animatronics on some of that costume, I think, and so they had a professional in there. But it was supposed to be Belushi at that point, I think. No, that was the real ape.
Right.
So they had the really good ape costume for the real ape, and then Belushi was.
Wait a minute, there was a real ape.
No, there wasn't. It was a costume.
Yeah.
All right. All right, that's our first question.
Yeah.
Phil Otto asked.
But a really good costume.
Phil Otto asked, Tom, did you ever see Elaine Newman sticking her fingers down her throat backstage?
No, I never saw her.
She was
do
so
that.
friggin' skinny. She had to be a bulimic, right?
She was. Well, she was absolutely. I wrote a sketch when Burt Reynolds was on the show about. It was a Roman sketch. It takes place outside a vomitorium. and Lorraine's name was Anorexia.
Now, did she take that as funny?
She was fearless. She was Lorraine was just hilarious, and she was comfortable with that. She got a huge laugh because we did Lucretia, this is so and so, and then Lorraine, and what's your name? Hi, I'm Anorexia. Huge laugh. Huge laugh. Of course. That was then. Today, Lorraine is, a gorgeous woman. She's all filled out, but she was too thin then. Okay. She knew it. But
this one I don't have a name, but I don't know why. It's a great question. Tom, is it true that Jane Curtin was a fan of the Donkey Punch?
The Donkey Punch?
It's a sexual thing.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
Remember, it's Howard 101. So
yeah.
Tom, a lot of prisoners will send in questions.
There are some normal people sprinkled in to these nuts.
I'll give you one quick Jane Curtin story to show you how cool she was.
Go ahead.
Jane was the one who was really grounded, and everybody knew it. She was responsible, always knew her lines. She was and in the first year, the cast decided to choose Jane to represent them. And in that first year, they all got paid the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean she was going to be the negotiator for the cast?
She negotiated for the entire cast with NBC, and everybody got paid the same that first year. But everybody in the cast knew that she was the one to represent them.
Why didn't somebody use a manager or an agent or something?
Well, that's called Bernie Brillstein. He managed everybody except me. Course.
Right. What else do you have, Shirley?
Tom, does Dan Aykroyd have a cone-shaped dick?
No.
Okay. Tom, did you ever see Eddie Murphy bringing men in drag into his dressing room?
No, but I do. I mention in my book one Eddie Murphy story when I got it on good authority because I was not there when we left the show in 1980, and we didn't come back to 86. But Eddie Murphy was at the show during that time, and Lorne had installed a bathroom right next to as part of his office. And during the pitch meeting, I'm told, on a Tuesday, Eddie was with his beautiful girlfriend at the time, and they went in the bathroom for a prolonged session, and that must have been a difficult pitch meeting.
You mean during work time?
Yes, with everybody in that room pitching for the show. Somebody told me that. That's a rumor. That's
a good one, though.
But it's a good one. So that's but Eddie.
Well, I think the candy in the mouth at the meeting, and you got the lawyers there at Disney. I mean, obviously the movie wasn't made, and you got these square lawyers and Michael Ovitz. Does anybody say, stop shooting the candy into Bill Murray's mouth so we can talk here for a minute?
No.
No one says anything.
No one says anything. You know what? I didn't even remember that. That was I read in someone else's book.
Anything else, Shirley?
No, those were the questions.
All right, well,
Tom, let's play some Al Franken.
Jay,
yes, our
that Holland's opus was wonderful.
All right, we'll talk about my career in a few minutes.
Yes.
We got Tom Davis here from Saturday Night Live and 39
Good
years
morning,
of short-term.
Tom.
That's our the weatherman, Tom. Our the weatherman just came in. Let's listen to Senator Al Franken before we say goodbye.
Hey, let's hear it.
No other woman lives through her nightmare. 4 years ago, at the age of 19, Ms. Jamie Lee Jones signed a contract to become an employee of KBR, then a Halliburton subsidiary. That contract contained a clause which required her to arbitrate any future dispute against her employer. This means it forced her to give up her right to seek redress in court if she was wronged. At the time, Ms. Jones had no idea what implications this seemingly innocuous fine print clause would have.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Jones arrived in Iraq in July of 2005.
Hold on.
Immediately, she complained to supervisors about the hostile conditions imposed by KBR. She was constantly being harassed by her male colleagues and was housed in barracks with 400 men and only a few women. Her pleas for safer housing were ignored. 4 days after her arrival, Ms. Jones was drugged and gang raped. She requested medical attention, and a doctor administered a rape kit. Parts of that rape kit have since mysteriously disappeared.
And now, live from New York, it's Saturday.
Now, Tom, when you hear this, and I mean, and he's doing, a good job, and he's the head of, and he must have had to go to school to learn the words to be a senator, right?
Hey, listen, that was what Al did there was brilliant. It was his first legislation that he introduced, a bill, and basically it's saying that if you're raped and you're in service for your country and you get raped, that you can sue. It was for what, Blackwater or something?
Well, yeah, it was like he mentioned Halliburton there in another company. I don't know who, and we certainly don't want to. It's all alleged.
So this
and everything
employee
else.
got raped, and there's a thing in the contract where if you get raped, you can't sue because it was in the contract that you can't sue if you get raped. So his bill was that you should have the right to be able to sue if you get raped by these contractors.
No, wait a minute. You would get hired. You would get hired, and in the contract, before you signed it, it would say if you, as a woman, are raped while you're over wherever, in Iraq or wherever you are.
Well, guys can't get raped out there?
Whatever. If you get raped, you can't bring charges against the company? That's
right. So Al proposed that they should have the right to be able to sue if they get raped. And the Republicans, 23 of them, voted against it. And we're pissed off that they had to vote on that.
That's one final question from Greg Priest, who wants to know whose career turned out worse in your opinion, Tom, Joe Piscopo or Charles Rocket?
Well, Charles Rocket committed suicide a few years ago, and Joe Piscopo is a really happy guy. So
scratch that one off the list.
Yeah, Charlie Rocket. I was doing voiceovers with Charlie, and Charlie always was a little on the edge.
I never met the man, but I did. Well, when I heard that he committed suicide, I was saddened. And when I met Joe Piscopo, he is such a goofball. He's hilarious, and he does the best Frank Sinatra.
That's true.
Let's face it. So Joe is happy and running around, and I'm glad for him. So there's the answer to that one.
Well, Tom Davis, 39 years of short-term memory loss. The story of Saturday Night Live.
I got my copy right here. I'm going to read it this weekend.
And part of Franken and Davis. Tom, thanks a lot. Good luck with the paperback. Hope they make it into a movie and all the other shit that you need.
Well, I'm going to turn on my radio and listen to the rest of the show. I love you guys. You call anytime.
Thank you, Tom Davis.
Thank you, Tom.
You guys crack me up.
The weather's going to be beautiful in your area
over
the weekend.
Yeah.
Jeez, what time is it there? Oh, my God, you guys get up early.
Tom Davis, thank you, man. Tell your girlfriend hello for us also.
Okay, Lindsay, they say hi.
Hi, Lindsay.
Oh, she's thrilled.
Hi,
Lindsay. Is she young or she's your same
20
age?
something, right?
No, it's age appropriate.
Oh, it is? Okay, thank you.
No, I'm all mellowed out.
By the way, Tom, any more drugs now? A little pot every now and again, a cocktail, or are you just completely clean?
Well, after I hang up.
All right, good. That's all I hear. All right. Tom Davis, thank you.
I love you, Jay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. 39 years of short-term memory loss. Buy the book. You'll love it. It's the Jay Thomas Show with Ira and Shuli.
He says what he wants and how he wants it all the time.
It's the weirdest and the wildest. Jay Thomas Show. Horrible.
Eddie Izzard is coming up.
Girl,
Ira the Weatherman.
I heard you're getting married.
Heard you're getting married. This time you're really sure.
Sing it, Ira.
And this is the end. They say you really mean it.
background singer's off key a little.
Yeah, I thought it was you, I swear.
Ira, the weatherman, came in with some very sad news. Ira, go ahead and tell America here at and Canada and ships at sea and people on the internet and Europe.
Yes.
What? You're sad. What is it? What is it? What happened?
Johnny Maestro passed away.
Turn him up. Turn Johnny Maestro.
I'll never get married.
I'm asking our Lord and Savior to take Johnny Maestro into the great jukebox in the sky. You're listening to me now, God. Take Johnny Maestro. Take him now. Embrace him. Ira, ask God to embrace Johnny Maestro. Go ahead.
God, embrace Johnny Maestro.
Take him, God. Take him. There we go. I just got a chill, Shuli.
Is that what you're calling it?
I've actually asked God to take a man into heaven. How did he die, Ira? What happened?
Well, he had cancer.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. Johnny Maestro. Mm-hmm.
Jane.
And this affects you.
Johnny once gave Jane curtain donkey punch.
Don't. Stop it right now. Stop it now.
Jay,
the man is in mourning, for Christ's sake.
Jay.
Yes?
Next week, I received a call.
I guess
yesterday.
we're over Johnny Maestro. Yes, go ahead, Ira.
I received a call from little baby Eleanor from the Seven Seas.
Really? And what did she say?
She heard that you're on vacation.
That's
she
right.
would like to fill in with Shuli's daughter.
Uh-huh. Okay,
Yes.
fine. Yeah, okay. So Shuli's daughter and little Eleanor from the Seven Seas. By the way, you really ought to get a play date.
With baby Eleanor?
Yes.
Yeah.
You and the wife ought to go out with Ira to the Bronx and get a play date. Okay?
Get right on that.
Okay, good.
Oh, Steve would open up the door for Shuli
You betcha.
any time.
Well, that's very kind of Steve.
Now, Ira, you were saying when we had Tom Davis on, and only because I wanted to focus on him and certainly not have the spotlight fall on me any more than it already has, but you went to the library because you don't just go and rent movies or Netflix.
Yes, I do rent movies.
You do. And you do them at
fact,
the library.
I saw a picture yesterday afternoon called Psycho. With
The
Alfred
old one?
Hitchcock.
Oh, the old Psycho.
That just came out, huh?
Was it scary when the guy stabbed the woman in the bathtub?
Yes.
Is that the first time you saw that film?
I think so, yes.
And were you just frightened to death to leave your room?
I was sick of that picture.
You got sick of it?
Yes.
What did you think when he was with his mother, who was a skeleton?
And then they
in the house?
then they leaped to their death.
That's
I don't
right.
know what's the matter with them?
I like when he stabs the cop. Huh? It's Psycho, for Christ's sakes.
No, I don't have to see it, I guess.
I have 4 more pictures at home.
What are the other titles you've chosen?
I don't know, but I was watching Vertigo.
Vertigo, right?
Yeah.
That's when you get up on a roof and you get dizzy.
Yes.
That's right.
You stand up too quickly.
Now, did you say you rented, and have you watched Mr. Holland's Opus?
I watched Holland's Opus, yes.
And did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it very, very much, Jay.
Mm-hmm. Now, when I came on the screen, did you talk to me as if I was in the room with you? Did you forget it was a
yes,
film?
I did.
You talked right to
Yes.
Did you say, Jay, it's me, Ira, wave at the screen?
Yes, but you wouldn't wave at the screen.
No, I see.
They didn't wave back?
They didn't wave back at you?
Jay,
All right.
Maybe you got an old TV.
You, in the picture,
Yes.
you were a coach. Physical
That's right.
ed coach.
Yes.
And you went for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And you let Holland Opus, Mr. Holland, go first. You're to go first in front of everybody because you teach.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, well, good.
He gave, he
I don't think he
gave
was
him
done.
a portion, and then you they gave a little portion. How about giving me more food?
All right. Well, wonderful. I'm glad you saw the film.
What's an opus, Ira?
Holland Opus was a teacher, a music teacher.
His name was Holland Opus?
Yes.
Wonderful.
And Jay,
yes?
the bands were wonderful.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's what I should do is I should buy you your own copy and you don't ever have to bring it back to the library.
Well, if you do, I'd appreciate it.
Well, I'll take care of that. Shuli, an Australian comic. I know that Howard's talked about this before. Did
Jay,
you read that?
You were fantastic.
Thank you.
I give you 2 whole stars.
Just 2 stars.
2 whole stars.
Out of how many stars do I get?
Out of 3.
Oh, God. Well, forget what I was going to say. You liked it so much, you give me 2 out of 3 stars.
Now I'll give you 3 stars.
No, it's too late now.
3 out of what?
3 out of 5.
So it's getting worse. By the way, we're talking about...
Ira rented some more videos today. Shauna Ryan's Privates, which I didn't know were available at the library.
Ira, have you ever rented or watched a movie that has sexual content, nakedness in it and stuff?
Manhood.
Manhood you've rented?
Hold the phones. Please, someone Google that.
What is Manhood about, Ira?
I didn't watch it yet. I'm going to watch it tonight.
So he's got his whole evening planned with a screening of Manhood.
How did you hear about Manhood?
I saw it in the library.
Oh, I don't think it's what we were talking about. There are dirty movies where women are naked and there's sex and everything else.
I watched Yank My Doodle.
Okay. By the way, we talked about Joe Piscopo, and Julie mentioned off the air that he didn't marry his nanny, and I've known Joe since I was 18 years old. He married his babysitter, who was the girl across the street, like at 16 or 17. How you hit on these girls. I've had babysitters, nannies, everything. How you have the balls to hit on one of them, I have no idea. But these guys do it all the time. And then, Shuli, he did a special, and is this song to his wife a real song? I mean, it's a
this was a comedy special he did, and at the end of it, he busts out into this dedication.
This will take us into the break, and then Eddie Izzard's on the line.
Take us into a town called Douche Chills. It's him jamming on piano. His little Jew-fro mullet.
I'll burn inside for you every day.
It's Springsteen.
I don't know what to do, don't know what to say.
And there's a video montage of her in the background.
Desperately, oh, I need you, Kimberly. Meant to be Kimberly.
Of course, years later, after a child, Joe was accused and allegedly slapped her ass around a little bit.
Well, maybe that's what her daddy didn't see.
Yeah, turn that up, and there was a restraining order, I believe. Turn it up.
Oh, why don't they just let us be?
Yeah, why don't they let us be?
You're a woman, I'm a man, can you take my hand? Cover me, cover me, cover me.
God.
3, 4.
All right. Shuley's here. Our the weatherman.
What a poof!
Yeah. What? What'd he say?
What a poof!
What a poof. And it's all alleged that Joe Piscopo slapped his wife. We had him on the show once, and he kind of, laughed it off a little bit. But I think they're divorced now, and that's all over.
He chuckled and then threatened to smack you.
Yeah. And then we'll have Eddie Izzard, the great comic from England, who, by the way, Shuley, is a cross-dresser, a transsexual, but loves women.
Transvestite.
Okay? Transvestite. Not sexual. Yeah. Transvestite.
Big
loves women. Okay? Come up. Eddie Izzard, coming up. Kimberly!
It's not so cold.
Famous for roles on Murphy Brown.
This man is making a sexual dance of my wife.
One leg over my shoulder.
Are you talking about shaved assholes and your kids in the car?
The Jay Thomas Show.
Howard 101.
Of course, go to jthomas.com, find out the links to everybody you hear on the show. You'll see a picture or two of what Madison's stomach, I think, is on there. It isn't the most exciting sight, Shuley, that anybody's ever made. And, Shuley, when are you back on the road performing? Tell people.
April, we're performing all month long. Go to RevBobLevy.com for any and all show info.
And I'll be in New York, in a couple of weeks, just back there at the regular old station. A few years back, I was at the Aspen Comedy Festival doing plays and emceeing and stuff. And one night I happened into the Eddie Izzard show, very small, intimate room, and absolutely blew me away. And I don't know if that's when he was first introduced to everybody, but then they sold out Madison Square Garden. And if you have not seen any of his specials on TV or gone out of your way, he has a new movie, Believe, the Eddie Izzard story. Eddie, welcome to the Jay Thomas Show here at Howard 101. How are you, Eddie?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm also here with Sarah Townsend, who's the director of the documentary as well.
Hi.
Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Hello.
Now, Eddie, one of the things I remember...
Well, Jay's not alone either, by the way.
Yeah, Shuley is here, my friend Shuley. So fuck you, I've got people here with me, too.
How you doing, Eddie?
And we got the weatherman is here, too. You've only got one person. I have like 7.
Good morning to everyone.
All right. Now,
Good morning.
Eddie, this is what I remember. Of course, it's been gone over. I watch you. You're hysterically funny. We're having a great time. And you begin discussing, your outfit and it was like a negligee or something. And I hadn't really thought about it. And all of a sudden, and you say, I'm a transvestite, but I like women. And I thought, well, that's a joke. That's the funniest thing I ever heard. But as I read everything and as life goes on, what is the definition of a transvestite? I always figured it would be a homosexual, but and women love men that dress in women's clothes, I understand also.
Yeah, well, basically, if you're transgender, you can be gay, straight, or bisexual. So it's massively confusing. And if you talk to any person who is transgender, they'll probably have a different definition of what things are. But there are gay transvestites and straight transvestites and bi-transvestites. So it's that confusing. But for some reason, I fancy women, and I have no idea why, but these are the genetic cards I have been dealt. So I thought I'd be honest about it and just... deal with it and wear whatever I want on stage. So sometimes I'm just, not wearing makeup. Sometimes I am wearing makeup. And I don't really talk about it that much. And I never wear a negligee.
Well, I don't know what it was. I'm sorry. I apologize. Everything's a negligee to me. But I just remember you talking about. Now, in Believe, the Eddie Izzard story, Sarah Townsend, you saw Eddie years ago and as he was starting his act. And were you just immediately excited by what you saw years ago?
No, I was absolutely not. No.
You weren't that impressed with Eddie. You know what, Eddie? That's a great way to begin the interview, isn't it? That she wasn't.
Well, Sarah sorry, say that thing. You tell about falling asleep.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, he came to do his first show in Edinburgh, and he was only just starting out. Actually, I fell asleep in the show because it was just because he still hadn't perfected his technique. So it took a few years to get to that point. So yeah, he was not always the Eddie we see.
Were you wearing pajamas, Eddie, or something? What was the what?
No,
what do you
well, Sarah's not really. She was the director. She was directing a play called Epicene at the time. So she's from a literature background, from a drama background, and I was doing this comedy stuff. So I just wasn't that good or interesting, or it wasn't her cup of tea. And she was very tired because she was working her backside off.
No, it was just early days. You know, everybody develops a technique, and so, you know, there would be a good joke, and then there'd be 5 minutes of not a lot, and then another good joke. So it was like that. In between times, you know, it was there were plenty of opportunities to fall.
That sounds like this show a little bit, to be honest.
From experience in stand-up, nothing kills a punchline like a guy snoring. It is death.
Yeah, in that show that I did, and it wasn't Sarah, it must have been someone else, but I got no laughs for a long time, and then I got a big laugh, and I worked out later that I got a big laugh because someone had actually fallen asleep and fallen off their chair during the show. And that was a big laugh.
So, Eddie, and also, is the show still going on, The Riches? Is that still happening for you?
The Riches has finished, unfortunately, but so we had passionate fans, but not quite a big enough army.
Yeah, that was a good one on FX, and you did Ocean's 12 and all of that, and so you're doing stand up and you're acting and everything else. It just seems like, are you friends with Ricky Gervais?
I think 1 or 2 times, but you know, like everyone goes off and does other things, so I don't know him that well, but he's done very well for himself.
Well, you guys come over here, and you're just freer than almost anybody we have in the United States. Were you surprised that the American audiences dug you? I mean, are you nervous when you walk out and you think, Jesus, I'm a guy, I'm going to be wearing women's clothing with eye makeup and stuff, and I'm now in the United States, and we're all very uptight here, as you know.
Well, no, you're not. It depends. You know, it's like the middle America state of mind. That audience is not going to get me. But middle Britain doesn't get me. Middle France doesn't get me. Middle Russia won't get me. It's the cooler people, the more open-minded, the History Channel watchers, the Discovery Channel watchers, those people who string sentences together.
The middle of every country every country in the middle of every country is square, is what you're saying.
Exactly. It's a sensibility and not a geographical location.
Oh, I thought you meant, gee, if you look like right in the middle of Russia, they're a bunch of square assholes that don't believe in abortion.
Yeah, they don't get it over there. No,
I'm saying that you could live in Manhattan and be middle America because you could just not get it, you know, and just think everything's very standard. But and you could live in Iowa and be very radical or outward thinking or open-minded or socially progressive. That's what I really mean. And just the mainstream people don't tend to get where I'm coming from because I'm going to talk about everything and Romans and sexuality and bees and, you know, tractors and whatever.
So when you're with a woman and you're in love, or I think you and Sarah, did you guys date at one time or had a little affair or something?
Yeah, we had a long-term on-off relationship. That we're now exes, but we get on quite well now, I think.
Did you share clothing, Sarah, when you were dating? Did you and Eddie would he go in your closet or you'd go in his and you'd...
No, our tastes are very different, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't do it? All right. Eddie,
it's covered in the documentary. Because it's basically an endless struggle of trying to get things going. It's kind of like the American dream, because the American dream is all about going for what you believe in. And really, the American dream is a human dream. It's, you know, every continent can have it. It's the European dream. It's the Asian dream. Going for what you believe in. So... that's the story that Sarah's made, I think.
Yeah, they're always saying the American dream, and I mean, if you'd have just stayed in England, you'd have been a European comedian. I know you speak French and everything else, but you've got to come to the United States. I mean, this is...
Parlez-vous français?
See, that's our weatherman. We all speak French here also. So you got to come to the United States to really make it. I mean, you feel as though if you'd have stayed in the British Isles, that's not really making it, just being...
Well, that is true. There is a thing, I think, around the world that because Hollywood took over in the First World War, because all the talkies came in the 20s, but before that, in the First World War, we all stopped making movies, we started killing each other, and Hollywood took over, and it has been the big powerhouse ever since then. Mm-hmm. So if you don't make it in America, you really haven't got it going, and that still exists.
Now, what about what's going on here now? Tiger Woods screwing 18 women, and then the Sandra Bullock's husband just came out. He's 5 or 6 women and the whole thing. And here you are. You've said, fuck it. I like to wear women's clothes. And so you're living free and easy. There are no surprises in your life. So what do you think of it over? I think it's more uptight than even in England. What do you think of all this crazy sexuality from our icons here?
Well, yeah, I would. I mean, that's this whole, everyone. What's it called? Sex addiction. Which I don't know.
Are you sexually addicted? Do you think you're sexually addicted?
I think everyone is. I never quite really believe that that's a real thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a completely clinical thing. But
I could masturbate right now, couldn't you? If we said, maybe not you, we had a woman on yesterday, Sarah, that said that women think of sex every few days, men think of it every few minutes. So if
that's probably true.
If I wanted to say, if all of us said, let's all masturbate, you would probably be the only one, Sarah, that wouldn't want to do that with us.
How do you know?
I don't know that.
Jay, if it's all in the same room.
It's obligatory. Yes. It's actually it's legally obligatory.
Eddie, sex went to my brain.
That's the weatherman.
That was ad-lib, by the way.
That's right.
I was going to say, if we're all in the same room, then Sarah would be the second person to bow out of that competition.
You would be.
Yeah.
If you watch the documentary Believe, we cover masturbation in that quite thoroughly, I think.
Really? Now, I'm the most uptight guy in the world. I mean, I'll talk about anything else, but I'm nervous that my wife is going to hear me talk about things and everything else. And I mean, when you have an act like you have, did your parents ever say, why do you have to say these things or tell these stories?
My dad's been pretty cool. My mum died when I was young, when I was 6, but my dad has been pretty cool.
Did you wear her clothes after she was dead? Quiet, Ira. Quiet. That's a real question. Did you wear your mother's clothes after she was dead?
That's not a very nice thing to say.
Well, no, but I'm asking a question. I'm wondering.
No, I know you're asking a question, but it's going in the wrong direction.
Is it really? Right.
Yeah, I think so, because, she meant a lot to me. So
I know, I'm not making fun of it. I'm asking.
I know, but it's going in a place where I don't think it's great to go. But I wore my mother's clothes before she died, but of course I wouldn't after.
Okay. All right. It's okay before, but not after.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, you're going to a strange place.
Okay. All right. And how's your dad doing with it now?
My dad is cool about it because I've been very open about it, and
He features quite a lot in the documentary, actually. He comes over really well, and he's a tremendously open-minded and democratically minded guy, so he's quite amazing. He does some beautiful interviews in it, so he's worth watching all by himself.
And so we buy it, we watch it. I mean, is it? The documentary is for sale now. Believe, the Eddie Izzard story. Now you've done stuff on HBO, and is it from? Has it run on HBO yet? Has it run on Showtime?
Kevin Bacon.
I understand. Has it run on
HBO? This is in all the cool stores around America and Canada, and on Amazon and EddieIzzard.com and places like that. That's the best place to get it.
Okay. Eddie, thank you very much. And Sarah Townsend, who directed Believe, the Eddie Izzard story, it's out, and you can pick it up, and it's his story, and you are a terrific and wonderful and free comedian. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, guys.
Nice talking to you, Eddie.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Was that not a normal question that did I get in trouble again?
Yeah.
I did, didn't I?
Oh, my God.
What happened? What happens?
Oh, my God.
After your mother died, did you wear her clothes?
I don't know if the question was really out of line or Ira laughing so hard.
It was bad. Jim McClure is in our studios. Normally Jim is just in another office someplace, but he's been helping. Jim, there is a moment when I ask these questions when the air just leaves the fucking room. And the other thing is, why wasn't the guy being funnier? That's the other, because I think he's brilliant. So I did. Now,
he really
Jim,
was boring, Jay, in this. Because he's good.
You managed to make a guy who wears women's clothes say that's inappropriate.
I
now,
did.
Now it's went to a weird place.
How did I do it? And then you know what? You could tell they wanted to hang up all of a sudden.
Oh, I was going to read the online questions, from people, and after you dropped that, forget it. Forget it. These questions were brutal.
You could tell it was going bad when the wife jumped in.
The wife.
Well, whatever she is.
Girlfriend
the
or
girl. No, the
director.
ex, the whatever.
Half the questions that people...
It says here, and I'm reading it, in this documentary, it tells about Eddie's father, whose career took the family from Yemen to Northern Ireland, and his musings on the impact of those moves, and his son's fascination with his mother's stockings. It says that here in the notes. Shut up. Shoot. To have Ira say Kevin Bacon. Because it's like a trap door. When it's over, it is like a trap door. Their voices change, the air moves away from the building, and
Fart in the elevator.
Yeah.
Now, Jim, you haven't been a part of when I'm interviewing and the bottom falls. Now, when Howard interviews people and asks all these questions, does the bottom ever fall out in any of those interviews?
Oh, yeah. Amy Fisher stormed out of the studio.
But she's a whore, for Christ's sake.
Rachel Hunter, who's not a whore. She's a model
wonderful
chick.
And Amy Fisher is allegedly... I use the word whore as an insult. I don't mean she takes money for sex.
Right.
That's alleged.
Way to clarify.
I'm just using it as a general insult. A whore to me is someone that shoots somebody in the head 5 times or twice with a small caliber weapon. Yeah. So they do storm out every now and again.
Yeah.
But now I feel badly because I'm a big fan of Eddie Izzard.
Yeah, but what did you really ask?
Did you wear your mother's clothes after she was dead? Did you?
Right? Maybe you
quit
should
laughing.
Maybe you should write him an apology.
You didn't ask if you wore her skin or anything.
Hey, Ira, in the movie Psycho, doesn't he wear his mother's clothes after she's dead?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, there you go. That's what made me ask the question.
And he laughed like Ira laughed in the movie Psycho, too.
Now, Garrett, we've done it again, haven't we?
Garrett and I were just looking at each other.
I could hear you. By the way, this is what I heard. When he didn't talk, this is what I hear. I hear like this. I hear somebody going,
oh.
So I can hear it in the background. So can they.
Oh.
You're going in the wrong place. You're going in the wrong place.
Going into the wrong direction.
My mother meant a lot to me. Okay, so did mine. But I'm a transvestite. After she died, maybe I'd wear her clothes.
Listen to these questions people wanted me to ask him.
Yeah.
Eddie,
we didn't even get to the listener questions.
Eddie, how was it hosting the MTV Awards? It was Russell Brand. Wasn't even him. Eddie, did you enjoy working with Judd Apatow and Forgetting Sarah Marshall? Again, Russell Brand. Eddie,
wrong guy.
What was harder, telling your parents that you liked dressing up like a woman or telling them you were in My Super Ex-Girlfriend?
Oh, boy.
Geez, I mean, can you mime your next statement?
When a comic comes on a radio show, they need to be funny. This guy is brilliant and fast, and
but he's too serious.
Absolutely.
Ask him how he feels about fully tattooed neo-Nazis with master degrees in biochemistry.
All right. Well, we will go away and come back. But even now, it's like, how did I do it again? I was so excited to talk to this guy,
Yeah, he was boring.
He wasn't.
It was boring, wasn't it?
It was the best part.
What's the matter with these fucking people? What are you doing? You're geniuses, so act like it.
Here's a reenactment. Do you wear your after she died?
All right. Well.
And then, of course, Jay does the...
Yep. Okay. All right. Weird direction? Okay.
What am I supposed to do, idiot?
I don't know.
What am I supposed to say?
I wanted to run out of here.
But watch this. Look. Shuli, I'm Eddie Izzard, and I'm answering the question. And well, I'm this and I'm that. And now you ask me the question. I'm this and I'm that. I'm this and I'm that. Ask me the question. I'm blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Ask me the question.
Did you ever wear your mom's clothing after she died?
That's what happened. It was like, It stopped. I could feel it. Jesus. I mean, and I'm going, how did I do it again? Oh, no. And I'm getting an email from Art Sears already.
Uh-oh. Did you get a little hot when it happened?
Eddie doesn't want to ever do Jay Thomas again. Thought he went overboard asking if Eddie wore his dead mother's clothing. Eddie loved his mom. Eddie thought worst past is that Jay wouldn't quit regarding the topic, even though he told Jay he was going down the wrong path. I stopped. What else could I do?
You stopped by going, okay, going down the wrong path?
Well, what? No, wait a minute. I'll repeat everything. Oh, God. Who's on the phone? Who did you say? Who's on the phone?
Sarah. Sarah in Dallas.
Oh, hello, Sarah. I thought you meant the woman that was with Eddie was going to call me back and say something. Yes, hello.
Hello. Can I just mention that after the guy got off the phone and you were still talking about it, you referenced that in the movie Psycho, the main character wore his mother's clothing after she died. It should tell you something that the name of the movie is Psycho. It's inappropriate, rude, and disrespectful. And another thing is, who is the audience you're going for? Because this is completely irrelevant to me even listening to the show. I mean, why am I listening? I keep asking myself that.
Yes, you're listening. You keep saying, why am I listening? That's good.
Have you given yourself an answer yet?
I think just to call you and let you know how stupid it is.
It's terrible. I agree. It's awful. I'm thinking of resigning. I'm thinking of resigning after this.
Could you ask yourself some more questions?
No, but I'd like to ask you all more questions and tell you that maybe you need to get some new material. Try something new.
Okay, Sarah, listen, I probably was wrong, but in the notes that I have, it says that he started his transsexual things by wearing his mother's stockings. Okay?
Obviously, when it's a comedy sketch, there are going to be some fictitious things.
No, it isn't fictitious.
And it's not a sketch. He does stand-up.
No, in this movie we're promoting, Eddie Izzard talks about starting his cross-dressing with his mother's stockings. So it doesn't say, I love my mother, don't ask a question about her.
Why not reference that? Why not reference or quote something out of the movie instead of coming up with your own questions? And
I just did. I'm telling you, I read it off of the paper. It says he wore his mother's stockings. So
Maybe you should have quoted that.
Did you wear your mother's clothes after she was dead? Now, as a comic, as a crazy, he's a wild comic and really off the wall material. I would have thought that he would have just made fun of me or fun of that or whatever and moved on. But to all of a sudden be selling yourself as you're serious, I do this for a living too. And if you said anything to me about my dead mother, anything, or my dead father, I wouldn't insult you by ruining the interview and saying it was inappropriate.
Yes.
Why is
it?
He was out of line.
He puts everybody down in his act, just like all of us.
The interview was ruined before it started because the questions were just dumb. It's not relevant to today. I mean, yeah, it's a movie that have a lot of people heard of it. Not really. You need to get some new material.
Sarah,
before this.
Sarah, let me ask you a question. Let's say I'm Eddie Izzard and it's your show. What question would you ask me?
If he's a cross-dresser, but he likes women.
What?
Oh, you'd have another guest. Okay.
No, you have Art Sears working for you. He's not going to take that. You're going to have to book it. What's the question you ask Eddie Izzard?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't get paid to do this.
That's right. You don't. That's right.
Here's what. First of all, I'm a huge fan of this guy's. Huge fan. So I figured this is going to be...
If you were a huge fan, why were you reading the prompter? If you're a huge fan, shouldn't you have the questions already in your head?
No, as a comic, as like if Robin Williams came on or any comic comes on.
We have a prompter here.
No, you come on and you're funny. You come on and you the host asks you questions and then
the host wasn't funny in this case. It either was Eddie Izzard or whoever it is.
Right. Well, then why did you keep listening? Why didn't you just turn it off?
Because it was a train wreck. It's almost like you don't want wanted to happen, and then all of a sudden, oh, God, there he goes.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful.
Have you ever heard Howard interview me?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I will tell you right now.
What do you listen to on these channels normally?
I turned it to this satellite station to listen to Howard. When is he coming on?
He'll be back Monday.
June.
Oh. Well, just try better next time. And I'm not the type of
I
person
will.
that
I'll try better. I'll try. Look, you know what? I'll try a lot harder to interview a transvestite who in the notes says he wore his mother's stockings. Then he said his mother was dead. And I'm thinking, well, the stockings wouldn't even fit him till he was 13. That's the first thing I thought.
Producers to get you better guests. And then you wouldn't even have this problem.
Sarah, I hope Joe Piscopo marries you.
We hope. There you go.
I gotta go.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
that. Okay.
Don't rush.
Does no one not think that I could be injured by some of these things? Huh? Is there no one out there? Is there no one in the room that doesn't think that here I am struggling myself? I have a person on that I admire. I knew the thing was going to hell. I knew it. I'm thinking, why isn't the guy being funny? Why isn't he saying anything? You know?
Yeah,
I asked him about Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
He's got to have a million lines about Tiger Woods.
What comic doesn't have
a million lines
that he can make funny? It doesn't even have to be a bit. Just make the opinion funny. You're softballing them shit. A beach ball size softball. You're throwing them, and this guy, you know, he can't. He can't take a swing.
The nuts.
Yes. All right. Here's what I'm going to finally say. Eddie Izzard has this CD that's out there, and he wants to sell it for $27. Let's just hope it's not as boring as this friggin' interview we just did. Okay? All right? And I do apologize because I couldn't get any humor out of a guy that I think is incredibly funny.
You don't owe anyone an apology. You got everything you needed to out of that interview.
By the way,
perfect.
It was just like this. It was like all of you. And then in the background.
You're right what you said to him, Jay.
Hey, Sarah, if you're still listening, I tell you what, start now and continue fucking yourself all weekend. I'll see you later. We'll be right back.
The Jay Thomas Show. Howard 101.
Oh, boy. You know what? Someone just said to me, if that's what you do to someone you like. Look, I wanted the guy to be funny, that's all. Surely some listener comments.
A lot of listeners reacting to this.
And the phones have lit up also at 888-STERN. 101. Yes, let's go with yours first.
Some people didn't like Eddie's reaction to your question and wanted to ratchet up a notch. Eric wanted us to ask him, have you ever jerked off on your mom's clothes after
So he wore his mother's clothes before she was dead, but
you asking about wearing her clothes after that's out of line.
That's out
of line. And it's weird.
Yes.
The old Kevin Bacon trapdoor brought to you direct on the Jay Thomas Show. Let's see what else. Jay, my sides hurt from laughing so hard. This is Nick Nygaard. This is so funny. I can't get out of my van to deliver what I need to deliver. Pete Manfredo writes, Ira, what's the weather down the wrong path? And then some people attacking Sarah that called in.
Oh, poor darling. I mean, first of all, Howard is on 100 most of the time, Sarah, and not on Friday ever, so you're not that much of a fan. I could have called myself Howard. You'd have believed it.
Jason Monroe writes, surely this is the second time he really fucked up an interview. Kevin Bacon, Eddie Izzard. Jay should just create a shtick of just pissing every guest off.
Damien, New Jersey. Yes, Damien. It's Jay Thomas. Shuley is here. How are you, Damien?
I'm doing fine, guys. I just wanted to say, number one, the interview was not funny, and this is a perfect instance of a comedian with no sense of humor.
Yes. By the way, I am so careful about comics. We had Bobby Slayton on my afternoon show, and Bobby plays the game and does the bits, and you lead them to whatever, and they tell the jokes, and I was excited to have this guy on. When I ask him a Tiger Woods joke, I know he's got to have some material, right? Got to.
Oh, definitely. I mean, everybody's got an opinion on that and a joke.
Nothing. What's it like? The difference between England and the United States. You know when comics go, I just came in from New York, right or wrong, Shuli, right?
Right.
They do the L.A., New York joke. I'm thinking, okay, I could not find a place that this guy would do any material. And you're right.
It's meatballs and he couldn't hit one out.
But you know what? They should say to him, what are you selling? Some fucking PBS special or some shit? You're a great comic that wears women's clothes, for Christ's sake.
Yep. And your question was valid because I am not a psychiatrist, but I have heard that during the mourning process, people will wear the deceased's clothing as a way to feel close to them. So it's
That's funny. That's really funny. I'm laughing inside now. My mother died at 93, and every now and again I put on one of her frocks, just for the hell of it.
You put on the oven mitt you thought was a hat?
I put on the oven mitt and put her brassiere in my hair.
But even if you weren't trying to be funny, it was actually a valid question from a psychological standpoint. If he's trying to be so damn serious.
Thank you, Damien.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you ask a comic who's coming to do a radio, how was your night last night? Boom. They'll have a joke about that. Forget about something
you used to live with Sarah. Did you share clothes when you lived with Sarah? Nothing.
One guy.
I mean, I don't know what, I have no idea. I mean, he didn't even sound like a funny person. I was so disappointed. And I, of course, feel as though, and I mean this, I think every guy should, I felt as though that I just couldn't get it out of him.
No, he was in serious mode or whatever, and who needs that? Go sit with your director and talk to her about all serious shit.
Will, Indiana. Yes, Will, how are you? You're in the middle of the nation. That was a good one, too. You mean the middle of every country is square?
Yeah.
I thought, okay, go now. Go. He said, well, no, not geographically. Jesus.
You guys are great. I don't understand how you can be too serious for a transvestite comic. A question.
That's funny in itself.
Anyway, love the show.
Even if you didn't know who he was. Even if you didn't know who he was, I'm having a comedian come on who is a transvestite but loves women. That's 20 fucking minutes right there.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. Will, did you just wake up or you just had a beer? What's the deal?
No, I'm just trying to let you guys talk and still get in.
Give him some Manischewitz.
Go ahead.
I'll give you some Manischewitz.
Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry. We're going to stop talking. Go ahead, Will.
No big deal. I just wanted to tell you guys, I think you're doing great. Your interviews, people are just being assholes to you when you're asking honest questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Will. Thank you very much. I feel more for the people that, and that poor woman, Sarah. I mean, my God. Robert, California. Yes, sir. How are you?
Hey, Robert. How's everything with you?
Pain in the ass. She must have thought she was calling the Dr. Phil show. I don't know what her problem was, but I thought it was funny, and that guy was being too serious. And Julie, you rule.
Thanks, brother.
All right, thank you. And finally, Jesse, Portland, Oregon. Jesse, I'm going to be in Portland showing my kids some schools. Is it going to be raining and all that there?
It always rains here. Come on.
Now, how do I explain that to my son when we land? And it's that.
Just give him a gun and tell him to go in the closet. And
no good.
Bad joke. Thanks.
No good.
No.
Bad joke.
Hey,
you know what, pal? Hey, you know what? You know what? You went over the line there, my friend, about my son and a gun.
That's just you're going in a weird area.
Yeah, you've gone into a weird area.
I'm sorry, I just inflated everyone. I think you guys did a great job. I think. Throw Sarah in on this one. I mean, go on the rag. I mean, you should have said, is that time of the month, or
I don't know, but it has certainly caused my time off and with my family to start on a bitter note, Shirley. That's all I can tell you. On a bitter note.
Come on.
Thank you, Jesse, very much.
You bet.
Shirley, I'll see you later.
Hey, have a good Easter
I
to
will.
The Jewish people. Have a good
thanks for killing our Savior. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Howard 101.